And while some of Trump's top rivals have tried to stay away from the former president's various legal issues, the former New Jersey governor, Christie, is putting them front and center. Here's what he had to say earlier today at a campaign stop in South Florida, just down the road from Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate.
By Wednesday night, the front runner for our party's nomination is going to be out on bail in 4 different jurisdictions. When are we going to stop pretending that this is acceptable? Because let me tell you, everybody, whether you believe the criminal prosecutions are justified or not, let's put that aside for a second. The conduct is unacceptable, whether it's criminal or not.
NBC's Shaquille Brewster just escaped a monsoon in Miami and is now joining us inside. Shaquille, thanks for the hustle, as always. So Christie really hasn't been shy to say the goal of his campaign is to take Trump head-on in the debate stage. But now we learned Trump's not going to attend the debate. I know you pushed Christie on that. How does it change his calculus?
Well, for him, he says it doesn't change his calculus. You can expect to hear Christie still attack Donald Trump on that debate stage. You know, when he was at an earlier event, a breakfast town hall, so to speak, here in Miami, he essentially made his pitch to voters there, a skeptical audience, I might add. He essentially made his pitch by saying, in order for Republicans to beat Biden in next November, then Republicans need to take down Trump now in this primary. He's saying that he's the only one on that stage who will be willing to do it. I spoke to him just before that news broke that former President Trump will not be on the debate stage next week. But I asked him what his preference was there. Listen to what he told me just before that news broke.
Do you prefer that Donald Trump's on that debate stage on Wednesday?
I prefer that everybody who wants to be president of the United States and win the Republican nomination be on the stage. Because I think Republican voters deserve the respect to show up and to argue the issues with the other candidates who have qualified. So if you've qualified for the stage, which Trump has, not showing up is completely disrespectful to the Republican Party, who has made you their nominee twice, and to the Republican voters whose support you're asking for again. So I think everybody who qualifies should show up and be willing to stand up and defend their record and advocate for what they want for the future.
Now, one way we might expect to see Christie do that and draw that distinction without the former president on the stage is that he makes clear it's not just moving away from Trump, but Trumpism. He goes after, for example, the war on woke, says he doesn't even know what that means, and says the Republican Party should be about smart government, small government, and not having legislatures and a government that passes laws against people or groups that they're against. So what you heard him do in front of the audience earlier today is he went after not just Trump, but also name dropped DeSantis, also name dropped Vivek Ramaswamy. You're getting the sense that he's going to try to lump the other candidates who are less shy about talking about Trump, lump those together as he makes that attack and that direct attack on Donald Trump.
All right, Shaq Brewster, glad that you are nice and dry. Thank you for that report, my friend. We appreciate it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.